The world is full of wonders, but sometimes the most unbelievable miracles are people themselves. From extraordinary physical features to mind-blowing talents and rare conditions, these individuals defy all expectations and challenge what we think is possible. In this new episode of Aaron Polo TV, we're diving into the lives of 10 of the most amazing and unique people you won't believe actually exist. Get ready to be inspired, shocked, and amazed by the human stories that prove reality is often stranger and more incredible than fiction. Let's dive in. Are you new in this video? Click subscribe and hit notification bell, so let's get started. Arun Rayquar is an ordinary man from Sagar district in Madhya Pradesh, India, who gained international attention for his extraordinary ability. His body seems to attract metal objects like a magnet. Spoons, forks, nails, and even knives mysteriously stick to his chest, back, and arms without any glue or tricks involved. He discovered this unusual trait by accident while fixing a table at home. A metal nail clung to his chest and didn't fall off. Curious, he tested it with other metal objects and found the same result. They all stuck to him. Since then, his story has fascinated people around the world, drawing curious crowds and even surprising doctors. Medical professionals examined him and were baffled. While some speculated it might be due to static electricity or oily skin, there was no clear scientific explanation. Arun himself was initially shocked and scared by his magnetic ability, fearing he would become a public spectacle. But as the attention grew, he began to embrace it, calling it a gift from nature. He even dreamed of being recognized by Guinness World Records to share his story with future generations. Arun Rayquar remains one of the most fascinating examples of real-life magnetic people, showing us just how strange and amazing the human body can be. Rhett Lamb is an extraordinary case from Savannah, Georgia, who couldn't sleep at all until he underwent life-saving surgery. Born in 2006, Rhett never experienced normal sleep. The condition began from infancy and persisted for years. Rhett's parents, Shannon and David, described their heartbreak watching him grow exhausted by day and yet utterly unable to fall asleep at night. His body would give out, but his mind wouldn't. He'd still be awake. He was in a bad mood all the time, his mother recounted. Medical investigations discovered that Rhett had Chiari malformation, a rare neurological condition in which part of the brain, the cerebellum, pushes down into the spinal canal. This abnormality can disrupt vital functions like sleep, speech, and breathing. Faced with this diagnosis, Rhett's parents decided to proceed with corrective brain surgery. Despite its uncertain outcomes, success was only around 50%. After the procedure, Rhett finally slept through the night for the first time in his life. The results were dramatic. His mood improved, his behavior stabilized, and he began catching up on missed milestones. His mother tearfully described being able to hug her once exhausted son, who now thrived thanks to restored sleep and improved health. Meet Gerkari Bracoette, a woman from Ocala, Florida, who stunned the internet with one jaw-dropping feature, her incredibly long tongue. Measuring around 11.4 centimeters or about 4.5 inches, her tongue can do things most of us couldn't even imagine, like licking her own elbow, touching her eye, and even reaching her ear. It all started as a joke among friends. Someone dared her to lick her eye, and to everyone's surprise, she actually did it. Curious and amazed, Gerkari began filming videos of her performing tongue tricks and uploaded them online. Very quickly, her unique talent went viral, earning her millions of views and followers across social media. While some accused her of using filters or Photoshop, she proved the haters wrong by showcasing her abilities in real time. Her confidence and playful energy turned her into an internet sensation, with many encouraging her to go for the Guinness World Record. She may even be in line to beat the current record holder for the world's longest tongue. But Gerkari's story isn't just about a long tongue. It's about embracing what makes you different, instead of hiding her unusual gift. She proudly shares it with the world, inspiring others to celebrate their uniqueness too. Ddier Montalva was a young boy from rural Colombia who gained international attention due to a remarkable skin condition known as congenital melanocytic nevus. At around 6 years old, Ddier had a massive shell-like growth that covered much of his back and sides, so prominent that locals nicknamed him Turtle Boy. The growth, which in some areas encompassed nearly 3/4 of his torso's circumference, resembled a turtle shell and often led to social isolation and stigmatization. Born into a poor and superstitious community, Didier's unusual appearance was misunderstood. Some believed he was cursed, especially since he was conceived during a solar eclipse, causing neighbors to shun him and his family. He was even barred from school and community rituals like baptism. The serious health risk was not just social. Medical experts worried the large nevus had a chance of turning cancerous. Without local access to treatment, Didier's mother, Luz, couldn't afford the complex surgeries he needed. The turning point came when British plastic surgeon Dr. Neil Bulstrode from Great Ormond Street Hospital in London heard about Didier's plight. He flew to Bogotá to begin a multi-stage surgical plan aimed at removing the growth and replacing it with healthy skin grafts. According to Medindia, it was one of the most severe cases the surgeon had ever seen. Despite the extensive procedures and recovery time, the results were life-changing. Films and documentaries, most notably the Channel 4 Body Shock series, covered his journey, showing Ddier before and after surgery. Post-operation, he was finally able to attend school, participate in normal childhood activities, and integrate into his community without fear or shame. Born on February 13, 2003 in Ontario, Canada, Kennedy Jordan Bramley came into the world weighing just 2.5 pounds, about 1.1 kilograms, and measuring around 11 and 28 centimeters. Doctors expected she wouldn't survive past a few days due to complications from primordial dwarfism, a rare genetic condition affecting only about 100 people worldwide. Despite a rocky start, Kennedy defied the odds. 8 months in, she was still thriving, and by age 12, she was approximately 39.5 in 99 centimeters, tall, and 23.5 lbs, about the size of a toddler. Nurses endearingly nicknamed her Thumbelina, and she won hearts everywhere with her radiant spirit and determination. Kennedy's personality shines through her achievements. Despite fragile bones and learning challenges, she attends school, plays hockey, swims, and even skates, living life as fully as any child her age. Teachers and her brother describe her as empathetic, joyful, and independent, a little girl who brings warmth to everyone around her. Her mother, Brianne, shares both moments of pride and anxiety. While Kennedy has come so far, her condition still carries risks like scoliosis or aneurysms. Yet their hope is simple and poignant. If we can get through today, then we'll see about tomorrow. Meet Rudy Santos, a man from the Philippines who lived one of the most extraordinary lives ever recorded. Born in 1953 in Zamboanga City, Rudy had a rare condition called parasitic twinning, a form of conjoined twinning where parts of an undeveloped twin remained attached to his body. In Rudy's case, this included 2 extra arms, an undeveloped leg, a shoulder blade, and even parts of a head with hair and an ear attached to his torso. As a child, Rudy faced rejection, poverty, and fear from people who didn't understand his condition. But instead of hiding, he eventually embraced the spotlight and toured the country during the 1970s and 80s as a sideshow performer known as Octoman. Crowds were both shocked and amazed. At the height of his fame, he reportedly earned up to P20,000 a night, a huge sum at the time. But life wasn't easy. Rudy lived in poverty during his later years. In 2008, Filipino doctors offered to surgically remove his parasitic twin, believing it was safe to do so. But Rudy refused. He had lived with the extra limbs all his life and felt they were a part of who he was, not something to cut away. Despite his unusual body, Rudy's story is one of acceptance, survival, and the power of human dignity. He passed away in 2022, but his legacy remains. Rudy Santos didn't just live with a rare condition. He faced the world on his own terms and reminded us that everyone deserves respect, no matter how different they may seem. This is Cassidy Hooper. Was born without eyes or a nose, a rare condition that didn't stop her from chasing her dreams. Despite dozens of surgeries, she never let anything hold her back. She graduated college, worked in radio, and even became a motivational speaker. Cassidy lives by the words, "I don't need easy, I just need possible." Today, she's a disability advocate and podcast host, inspiring people around the world with her story of courage and hope. What can you say about this? Comment down below. Imagine being told your child has no brain, and being asked if you'd like to end the pregnancy. That was the heartbreaking reality faced by Shelley and Rob Wall from Cumbria, England, when they learned their unborn son, Noah Wall, had a severe form of spina bifida and hydrocephalus. Scans revealed that Noah had only 2% of a brain, with doctors warning he wouldn't survive long after birth, if he survived at all. But Shelley and Rob refused to give up. Despite repeated recommendations to terminate the pregnancy, they made the courageous decision to continue, believing their son deserved a chance. Noah was born on March 6, 2012, and to everyone's shock, he breathed on his own. He had surgery shortly after birth to close the opening in his spine and install a shunt to drain fluid from his brain. At first, it seemed the doctors were right. Noah had very little brain function. But what happened next defied science and expectations. Over time, Noah's brain began to grow. By the age of 3, MRI scans showed that his brain had expanded to nearly 80% of its expected size. Doctors now believe the brain had been compressed in the womb due to fluid buildup, and once that pressure was relieved, it began developing. Today, Noah Wall is not only surviving, he's thriving. He's bright, cheerful, and intellectually curious. He loves science, math, and music. He has even performed at the Royal Albert Hall and become an ambassador for disability awareness and medical research charities. Though he uses a wheelchair, Noah's personality, determination, and positive spirit have made him a global inspiration. His story is a powerful reminder that even in the darkest diagnoses, there can be hope, resilience, and miracles. Ashley Kerpiel is an extraordinary woman, known for her resilience and advocacy in the face of a rare and challenging condition called fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, FOP, also known as Stoneman syndrome. FOP is a genetic disorder that causes the body's soft tissues to gradually turn into bone, limiting movement and flexibility. This condition affects fewer than 1,000 people worldwide, and Ashley has been living with it since a young age. Her journey has been filled with remarkable courage. Diagnosed with FOP at a young age, Ashley's life changed drastically. At just 3 years old, she underwent an amputation of her right arm and shoulder after doctors mistakenly diagnosed her with cancerous tumors. Only later did they discover it was actually FOP. Despite the progressive nature of the condition, Ashley refused to let it define her life. She continued to pursue her passions, including surfing, where she adapted a modified board to enjoy the sport she loved. In 2013, Ashley received a myoelectric prosthetic arm, allowing her to regain some independence and perform everyday tasks like using a phone or holding a drink. But her journey isn't just about overcoming personal challenges. It's also about helping others. Ashley has become a powerful advocate for awareness of FOP. She works tirelessly to educate the public, raise awareness, and connect people affected by the condition to resources and support networks. Ashley's advocacy extends beyond her own story as she shares her experiences to encourage early diagnosis, proper care, and emotional support for those living with rare diseases. Through her social media, especially on Instagram, she shares updates and inspires others with messages of hope and resilience. Her efforts have touched many lives, making her a beacon of strength and a symbol of perseverance for those affected by FOP and other rare conditions. Ashley Kerpiel's journey is a testament to the power of hope, determination, and the unwavering belief that one can live a fulfilling life despite life's toughest challenges. Meet Petero Bayakatanda, a boy from Uganda whose face tells a powerful story of pain, courage, and transformation. Born with a rare condition called Cruzon syndrome, Petero's skull fused too early, crushing his brain and pushing his eyes outward, leaving him in constant pain, nearly blind and severely deformed. Growing up in a remote village, Petero faced cruel bullying and isolation. Children threw rocks at him and schools turned him away. With no access to medical care, he spent his days tending cattle, alone, but surviving. But then, his life changed. At just 14 years old, Petero was flown to the United States by the World Craniofacial Foundation, where world-renowned surgeon Dr. Kenneth Salyer and his team performed a series of life-saving reconstructive surgeries. Over several intense procedures, doctors reshaped his skull, reduced the brain pressure, and realigned his eyes, giving him not only a new face, but a new life. After surgery, Petero could finally open and close his eyelids. His vision began to return, He started smiling, speaking English, and even dancing. The boy once called a monster became a symbol of hope. Petero now dreams of becoming a doctor so he can help children like himself. His story is a powerful reminder that with love, support, and medicine, miracles are possible. Meet Kathy Young, the woman with the world's smallest waist, a record that's both fascinating and controversial. Born in 1937, Kathy is an American corset enthusiast whose tiny 15-inch waist has earned her a spot in the Guinness World Records. Standing 5'8" inches tall, her figure is shockingly dramatic. And it's all thanks to a lifelong passion for Victorian fashion. Kathy's journey into extreme corsetry began in 1959, just before marrying her husband Bob Young, an orthopedic surgeon. What started as an interest in vintage style slowly evolved into a lifestyle. In the early 1980s, she began tight-lacing, wearing corsets up to 24 hours a day, and over time her waist gradually shrank to the astonishing measurement we see today. She owns more than 100 custom-made corsets and wears them constantly, only taking them off for short periods. But here's the twist. Despite what you might assume, Kathy claims she's never had any health problems due to her corset training. Her husband, who monitored her health with x-rays over the years, even supports the claim. In fact, he says the corsets help support her spine. Kathy Young has become a global curiosity. She's appeared in documentaries, magazines, and talk shows, often drawing both admiration and criticism. To her, it's not about body image or attention. It's about elegance, discipline, and preserving a piece of fashion history. Whether you see it as an art form or an extreme modification, one thing's certain. Kathy Young has reshaped the way we think about what the human body can become, literally. And there you have it. 10 of the most extraordinary people whose stories prove that uniqueness comes in many forms. From rare medical conditions to incredible talents, they've inspired the world by simply being themselves. Which one amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable true stories. See you in the next video, where knowledge meets wonder.